is. And I gotta turn off this comments. Hold on, y'all. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick summary as always, and then we're gonna dive into the review. So, Deacon and Taylor playing with fire, in my opinion, anyways. They playing with fire over here eating pizza and stuff. Over here eating pizza and stuff. And I said they love saying how crazy Sheila is, but they don't consider what their actions will cause. They don't consider it because ain't no way this appropriate. Especially with him being, or her being his therapist or whatever, and him being a married man. Come on now. I said, now Sheila, all the times now they haven't kissed or anything like that. I'm assuming that this is where this is gonna go, that they're gonna have an affair. I might be wrong. I might be wrong or whatever. But yeah, Deacon and Taylor playing with fire over here eating pizza and stuff. They love saying how crazy she lives, but they don't consider what their actions will cause. Instead of going home to his wife and staying there, he stops by unannounced to bring to bring Taylor some pizza. So he done went to the restaurant and everything. He don't stop by to bring this girl some pizza or whatever. Another woman pizza. I said, Taylor said Sheila shouldn't stop by unannounced, but it's okay for her husband to do so. I said, got it. Brooke and Rich are just talking about Eric as well as Bill and Katie getting married. And the last thing is that Bill gifted Katie her own fashion house. And I was saying, I said, I could think about 3 people right now who gonna join or who may join over there. I think Eric might, or at least give his designs. Hold on. Because he still didn't tell Ridge about it. Wait, I skipped the part. Taylor snitched on Sheila. She snitched that she stopped by. She snitched talking about some she thinks that she was gonna crash the wedding. I said she ain't said she was gonna crash the wedding. I mean she was acting like she was. But yeah, how you gonna tell him that you don't know if she was gonna crash the wedding or not? And he's like, I was worried about this and all this other stuff. Not enough to go home to make sure she was okay though. But yeah, hey y'all, welcome back to another review of Life of Chesses for the beautiful December the 16th, I think, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. What y'all think? Did y'all see the episode? It was okay. Nothing too much happened. I'm ready to see this fashion show off, if they show off. I don't think that's what it's called. Fashion showdown. I don't know if they, because a lot of people been talking about it. They assuming that they say obviously Brooke gonna stay over there with Ridge now. They think that Deke gonna come over there. They think that Will is gonna come over there, and it was somebody else. Somebody said Eric, and I think it was one more person. Because Thomas supposed to be coming back. They said that Deke's supposed to get fired because Steffi gonna make the business decision. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they've been saying, y'all. But okay, on today's episode, we're gonna start with Brooke and Ridge. Brooke ends up telling Ridge that Liam, hold on, I didn't even click that. Let me see. Brooke ends up telling Ridge that Liam and Hope weren't the only ones that got married. Tells about Katie and Bill getting married. He was like, I thought your sister was smarter than that. And I was like, well, one of the sisters ain't smart at all to take you back. I was like, your wife ain't smart. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, if that's the case, your wife ain't smart either, because she should have been left you alone. No, I don't. I've seen a lot of people that's happy about Katie and Bill being back together. I don't know about that. Ever since he said that to Brooke, how he tried to get her back, and then once she turned him down, he tried to get Katie back. I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this at all. Hold on. But yeah, he trying to make it up to her though. He definitely is. But yeah, that's what they was talking about. He ends up talking about Eric agreeing to retire and everything. They had a nice little conversation. And I thought about it when they was talking about that. I was like, he didn't tell him about or show him the designs, did he? I don't think he showed him the designs. So I was like, maybe they're all right. Whoever said that about Eric joining over there with Katie, if they actually open this fashion house, I was like, you might be right. If he don't join, he might just give him the designs. But remember, Steffi seen the designs, so she gonna know about it immediately. But yeah, so that might be interesting, because we've been talking about for years how they don't really show fashion like that. We don't really see fashion like that. But lately they've been showing the models on the little dog. What's the name of it? And they just said it on the episode, on this episode. What's the name? The runway walk through. But yeah, I was like, we were just talking about how they don't do that, but they have been showing it a lot more lately, and I actually like when they do that. But yeah, that's all they was talking about. Then they started kissing and stuff. I think we're gonna end with Taylor and Deacon, Katie and Bill. So they were just celebrating the fact that they got married, and I was like, okay, now. I said, this ain't legal, is it? And he said something on today's episode about how they have to make it official and get it legalized or whatever. Because I could have sworn they said, one, obviously they need to have a marriage license. And the other thing, don't they have to be married by somebody that's ordained or something like that? They can't just be going around marrying themselves, can they? I don't know. I don't know how it worked, but back in the day, that's what they used to say. It had to be from somebody who ordained and stuff like that. I said, everybody just marrying themselves and getting little kids to marry and stuff. I said, wait a minute now. Hold on. But yeah, they was celebrating the fact that they married. She ends up gifting him or giving him back that sword necklace. She puts it on his neck, and they was just talking about the sword and what it represents and stuff like that. So he was like, okay, he been working on something. Even if she hadn't agreed to marry him, he was gonna give it to her. So he don't gifted her a fashion house. And he's like, he hear her and he don't think that they treating her right over there, forced to creation and stuff like that. So he ends up gifting her her own fashion house. And there's been a lot of speculation that, everybody gonna come up over there. Well, not everybody, because obviously I don't think Brooke going nowhere. She ain't leaving her man. Shoot, Eric already said how they need to run the place. They say Eric, Deke, because Deke's supposed to get fired this week, allegedly. Deke's supposed to get, I said, how you gonna bring him on? You just brought him on, said there was some new designs and stuff like that. Now that Thomas back, y'all want to get rid of the boy. But yeah, they saying Deke's supposed to come over there. They saying Eric, Donna obviously gonna follow Eric. It was somebody else. Who else did they say? It was somebody else. Hold on. I can't remember who else. But yeah, that's how they was talking about. And the last people we got is Taylor and Deacon. So he done popped up over here. And he had something in his hand. I couldn't tell what it was or whatever. Except on the top, it looked like some place or something. I said, nah, he done brought some place from the wedding to this good. But nah, he done brought some pizza from the doggone restaurant. Either way it go, would have been bad. He don't say, I hope it's okay that I stop by unannounced. And she was like, yeah, it's okay or whatever. Because he brought her some pizza and everything. I said, wait a minute, pause, rewind. What the word they think this is? I said, Dickie, you married. You ain't supposed to be bringing another woman no food. If she hungry, she better go find some. If she hungry, she better go somewhere else to find some food or something. That's the word going up. But yeah, so they sitting there eating pizza and stuff. I was like, Sheila, as many times you done popped up over here at this office, you ain't seen this. Where you at, girl? But yeah, she don't mind him stopping by unannounced and all this other stuff. But remember the other day, she told Sheila she don't like all that popping up unannounced stuff. What if she in there with a client? I guess the same don't apply. I said, Sheila did shoot her, right? And even if she didn't shoot her, she a psychopath, so I wouldn't want her around neither. But this besides the point. That's besides the point, y'all. I said, it's bad enough. He could have just brought it. First of all, he shouldn't have brought it either way it go. I said, at least here you go, get the pizza. I just wanted to stop by, get you some pizza or something like that, then dip up out of there. No, you decided to get real comfortable. And after they got done eating some pizza, hold up. After they got done eating pizza, they started talking about Sheila. She gonna snitch. Told that Sheila was there. She stopped by unannounced or whatever. What did he say? What did she say? What did she say? She was like, she's worried about her or whatever. She's real uncomfortable with how much credit she giving her for putting them back together. And it was something else. When she said she stopped by, she was worried, or she thought that she was gonna crash the wedding. And I said, she ain't tell you she was gonna crash no wedding. And he's like, well, I was really afraid of that she's backtracking and all this other stuff. And that's when she got to talking about how she's worried about Sheila too. But then another part I forgot to write down. Didn't she say something about the type of woman that Deacon deserves and stuff? I said, wait a minute. I said, Taylor, I said, you worry about you playing a dangerous game, girl. This lady don't play no games. And look, she finally got. I said, that was Sheila get though. Because Sheila's so desperate to be accepted by these people. That's why she kept talking about the wedding and how this was the event to prove that they met together and all this other stuff. You worried about the wrong thing. You had a man that wanted you and only you. Now he wants Taylor. Now he wants Taylor. Not to say it's just fully your fault, but he was crazy about you. If your psychotail would have just focused on your marriage and all this other stuff, instead of helping psychopath Luna, you wouldn't be in this situation. So it is her fault. It's definitely her fault. But yeah, I was like, I said for years she been talking about how she wanted somebody to love her and all this stuff, and now she got somebody to love her. She want to do stupid stuff. Now Taylor over here, she hasn't done anything as far as try to put the moves on him or nothing like that. They haven't kissed or nothing, but I'm assuming that's what it's leading to. But yeah, she over here talking about the woman he deserved and everything, and she worried about Sheila. What else? But yeah, I said, so after Deacon's daughter's wedding, he decides to bring Taylor food instead of going with his wife to make sure she's okay. Right, talking about she not comfortable with Sheila just giving her all the credit. I said, right, because you really just wanted to, not think about the feelings you starting to develop for him. That's why you told him to go home. That's really what it was. And he only went home because you told him to, and he trying to fight the feelings he has too. That's why that's why he's over here bringing you food and stuff. Tell my son, it's okay if I stop by. No, Sheila, where you at? But yeah, that's all that happened, y'all. Let me scan these notes. Bill thinks that they should recognize Katie and her abilities. Taylor was saying how she just wants the best for Deacon, and she started getting closer to him, but that's all that happened. I think that's everything, y'all. Bill tells Katie he built her own showroom. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces.